Greetings, soccer fans. Welcome to another episode of Football in the Americas, Ball Chat Football in the Americas. I'm your host, Benton. Hello, brethren. Junior, how are you doing, boss?
Why, I'm here.
You're doing well. And come on, how are you doing?
I'm good.
And what a week it was as we review the major news in football or soccer in our backyard, discussing the Major League Soccer playoffs. Single elimination has been good for playoffs in the Major League Soccer. Right, Junior?
Yeah, definitely.
Then come on, do you agree that single elimination has been good for Major League Soccer?
I agree.
Agreed. So soccer fans, we're going to discuss the Major League Soccer playoff games, try to hit the major points, and set up a couple matchups coming on the next round. And then we try to touch on the Canada. 34 years it took for Team Canada to finally defeat Team USA. The flu having Christian Pulisic did not make a difference. And then we'll set up just a brief talk on Boca versus River Plate. But if we don't get to it, we stick to just Major League Soccer. Come on, DC United is home and packing as Wayne Rooney ends his career in MLS. I mean, what a drubbing for DC United. Your thoughts?
What a drop. What? I mean, did
drubbing.
you expect anything else?
Yes, I
anything
expected.
different?
I mean,
For 10 seasons, we've had Ben Olsen. And what have we won? A 2013 Open Cup? It is mediocrity. So the fans know. I'm seeing them saying Ben Olsen out, and come on now. If it was anywhere else in the world, would Ben Olsen still have a job? He wouldn't. So I didn't expect anything else. Toronto, while not playing the best football, they played better football than DC United. Going into extra time tied 1-1, only to lose 5-1 is not a good way to go out. And I was exceptionally happy for Nick DeLeon. Nick DeLeon has been a DC United player for many seasons, and his contract was not picked up last season. So he found a home in Toronto, and he has been doing well. So it was fitting that the last goal scored on DC was scored by Nick.
Junior, the floodgates open in extra time. I mean, I went to the restroom, and by the time I came back, the game was over. Junior, your thoughts on that game? Toronto defeated DC United 5-1.
It's one of the weirdest games I've ever seen because for 90 minutes, Wayne Rooney looked like he couldn't wait until the final whistle to finally go off in the sunset. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I've replayed this game in my head so many times. I can't remember the DC striker, the partner to Wayne Rooney, got a sitter and missed. Well, not missed. He kicked it at the goalkeeper. Wayne Rooney got a chance that you expect somebody of Wayne Rooney's character to score and finish. Our caliber, yes.
We're not sure about his character.
It's a C word. But you expect somebody of his caliber, his class, to finish. He didn't finish. And eventually you say, all right, DC obviously look like they're not interested in the game anymore. Then they get a corner in the 90 plus minutes. And for some reason, Toronto coach made the biggest, dumbest mistake ever, made a defensive substitution on the corner kick.
Yeah.
And that's what gave DC the goal. I even said, Wayne Rooney have to play another game. And then overtime happened. I'm confused. I don't know which is real.
It's almost like Toronto wanted to give DC United a chance.
They were begging them to beat them.
You were saying, come on?
Like they wanted to give DC a chance to be able to beat the brakes off them.
Yes, Toronto. So Toronto moves on and single elimination as they eliminated DC United. Ben Olsen, who knows, watch that space. Maybe he will not be the coach of DC United, but he has done his job. Let's see. We'll wait for the offseason to see what will happen. MLS playoff roundup at home, and Ball Chat was live on location at that game. Atlanta United eked out, and I want to emphasize, eked out a 1-0 victory against New England Revolutions. I was not impressed. but I will take the game, take the victory as we move on. Junior, your thoughts on that?
I was impressed because I think you're looking, I'm going to criticize you now, you're trying to look at Atlanta United through Tata Martinez lenses.
Okay.
And you're not looking through it through Ronald De Boer, or De Boer's Frank.
Yeah, Frank De Boer's lens.
Through Frank's lens.
Yeah.
Not because they're Dutch, but I saw at LVG, Louis van Gaal's type performance where Atlanta United is the better team. If they flex their muscle, they will run New England off the field, but they didn't flex their muscle. They picked the safest way out.
Yeah.
And I think Barca was impressive, but I think on a whole, the team was very impressive. They knew what they wanted to do, which was just to win the game. And they went out and won the game. That to me.
Yeah. Come on, your thoughts on the New England Revolution Atlanta United game. Atlanta eked out a victory in that matchup. And I want to emphasize eked out.
And you'd be correct to say eked out. New England, to be honest, I was impressed with them. I mean, not the game per se, but in the early part of the season, they were struggling, and then Bruce came in, and I think Bruce is the bottom feeder whisperer. I mean, if that's what we need to call him. So you need something to be fixed, call Bruce. So for them to actually make the play out and to go out just, by a 1-0 margin is commendable to New England. I wish they would have beaten Atlanta, but such is life. Yeah. But it was an okay match. It wasn't Atlanta's best.
Yeah. I think that there's an elephant in the room, and there was a big elephant in the room yesterday at the Mercedes-Benz. Pity Martinez didn't see any time in that game, Junior.
Yeah.
High price transfer. He was playing well down the stretch. The word was that defensively they needed more defensive cover. This is why they went with the options. Do you agree with Frank De Boer's decision of leaving Pity Martinez on the bench for the entire game?
They won, right?
They won.
So it's a good decision.
It's a good decision.
You win. I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Come on, your thoughts on the Pity Martinez not being involved in that matchup, and do you expect him to be involved in the next round?
I do. I don't get the defensive makeup of the lineup why he didn't see any playing time. It's kind of weird that you pay all this money. You knew what you were getting with this player, and for the entire season he was actually used sparingly. So I think it's not only an issue on the field, I think it's also an off the field issue. Maybe he and the coach, they're not seeing eye to eye. But for this high priced player who was held in such high esteem, not the factor or feature in playoff. I remember it's a one and done game.
Yeah.
So if Atlanta had not won the game, then that would have been the end of the season. So for you not to use PT, it just smells of you not trusting him or believing that he's a good fit for the club.
Yeah. And interestingly, Henman played, I think, 60 or 70 something minutes in that game, and it was a bit baffling to a lot of us inside the stadium to see him start over Pity Martinez. But we'll see what Frank De Boer will do as Atlanta United gets ready for the next round of matches in this our match for now. Hopefully they'll keep playing on. To segue from the Eastern Conference of the MLS playoff to the Western side of things, where there were some mouth-watering back and forth matches. Seattle versus Dallas. Game ended 4-3. Jordan Morris scored a hat trick in that matchup. I mean, it's like we never wanted that game to end. Come on, what a game of football. Defense was gone to see, but it was very entertaining. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it was. I'm not really big on Jordan. I'm not big on him. I'm not a fan, I should say. Glad that he got a hat trick. He is a player that has type 1 diabetes, I think, and it was a little bit touching to see him on the sideline checking his blood, his sugar level, blood level. So it was, so it was a good match for him to actually show Seattle and reward Seattle, because they're paying him some good money. And so he's maybe the face of Seattle. I think he's the face of Seattle. Yeah. So I was happy for him, and the game was good. I wanted a PK shootout, because that was how good the game was. Yeah. But I'm happy that Seattle won. I think the better team won.
Yeah. Junior, a young Dallas team, exceptional, showed a lot of fight. They came up short at the end. I mean, they should have gotten major lessons in this game going forward, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a hard pill to swallow, because you said the key word, which is young. Yeah. And even the commentator said at one point that the coach was stressing to them that you are younger, you are fitter, you are faster, use it to your experience. But it doesn't like experience beat youth.
Yes.
So, and they can get better from it, but I think this is a tough pill to swallow, knowing that you were this close and you scored 3 goals. All your defense had to do was to stop them from 4-3.
Just had to hold them.
Sad.
Real Salt Lake, and this is probably the puzzling team in this MLS year. Portland Timbers, come on, is officially home. Diego Valeri finally got on the field late in the game. They lost the game 2-1. I mean, do you see Savarese staying on as Portland's coach? And your thoughts on this Portland defeat and Real Salt Lake performance?
Real Salt Lake should be commended. Portland is a physical team. The weather was awful, but and so I mean, it's not even to say that the weather suited Real Salt Lake, because Portland is used to that kind of weather as well. It's cold and muggy and nasty, and there was snow. It was just crazy. I think the coach of Portland will stay on. They didn't bring enough good players last transfer window, so I think he will probably revamp his team. They didn't have enough firepower. Diego Valeri, I think, is going to leave. So I really, really think that he's going to stay, but they will bring in additional players to complement the ones that they have. Yeah. But I should say that the better team won. Real Salt Lake played good attacking football yesterday, and they actually wanted it more than Portland. So, the better team did win last night.
Yeah, old man Nick Romando in goal for Real Salt Lake. I mean, he really pushed that team. Cerritos and company really, it was very high intensity. And Kyle Beckerman, Jr. Mm-hmm. How old is Kyle Beckerman? Like 100 years old?
33, I thought 34.
And then the game that just concluded, New York Red Bulls versus the Union. New York Red Bulls put up a fight. The Union officially won the game 4-3. Your thoughts on this matchup, Junior, and this outcome?
As a Jamaican, Mr. Blake himself, I hope he knows how to cook jerk chicken, and you need to really cook some jerk chicken or jerk pork or whatever it is. If they're vegan, jerk corn. Cook some food, because Blake was horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. And it is nice to see a team rally around their goalkeeper's mistakes and hold their head down. I think they were down 2-0 at one point. Yeah. And to come back and fight and come back and to score a fortunate goal in the end, because that goal looked kind of fortunate, but it was well deserved. So big up Portland. Yeah. I mean, big up Philly.
Your thoughts, come on.
Well, Andre should take his teammates out for dinner. And make sure that he asks them what they want. If they go on to win the MLS Cup, he needs to ask each and every one of them what they want for Christmas and buy each and every one of them a gift. He gave New York Red Bulls all 3 goals. I mean, like, he gifted them. It was like amateur schoolboy errors that Andre made. But his teammates believed in him. And, for them to come back and win 4-3 was really good. It was an interesting game from end to end. Is this the last that we're going to see of Burley Wright Phillips? I remember when BWP was the hottest thing? No. but now he's being reduced to a 10-minute here and a 15-minute there. So New York Red Bulls probably needs to, get some more players, because these players probably need some help. The ones that he currently has.
Regular.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, come on, at some point BWP tenure have to come to an end. It has to end, and this is the time to move on. Let's try to quickly get some thoughts on the upcoming games in the next round of the MLS playoff. There's still one more game that's pending, Minnesota and LA Galaxy. You didn't predict that game because you wasn't available for the last show. Come on. Junior and I both picked that game. Your thoughts on that game before we look to the next round? Who you think will win that game?
Minnesota is beating LA Galaxy.
Minnesota will beat LA Galaxy.
Yeah, what did you guys say?
I have LA Galaxy.
I picked the weather.
I have LA Galaxy.
If it's sunny and nice, I pick LA. I pick LA. Well, not sunny, but if it's relatively nice, I pick LA. If it's horrible, Minnesota.
Big money players, Zlatan. This is what he said from about 5, 10, or 20 games ago that he's in playoff mode.
Right.
Now the playoff is here. Time to show up or shut up. Come on. Let's quickly hit a couple games. Try to preview the games coming down. New York FC will host Toronto at home. Your thoughts on that and who you think will win?
New York FC, they're rested and they're better than Toronto. So New York FC will beat Toronto.
And the other match, Junior, who do you think will win that New York FC versus Toronto game?
New York FC all the way.
Yeah, New York FC being the number 1 seed. Junior, in the next matchup, Atlanta United hosts Philadelphia. Your thoughts on this? Joseph Martinez says he thought his teammates were warriors. They're going to need a warrior-like performance to beat Philadelphia. Your thoughts?
Blake is a good goalkeeper. So I think what we saw today was a one-off. Atlanta can only play well under ideal circumstances. I don't think Philadelphia is going to give them an ideal circumstance. So it's going to be a hard-fought game. I still think Atlanta has the quality, but Philadelphia's resolve is what's scaring me right now.
Okay. Atlanta hosts Philadelphia Union. Come on, your thoughts on this? And I'm suspecting that you're predicting Atlanta defeat.
No, actually no. Atlanta, we don't have 2 legs, right? For people to come back and say, oh, we're going to probably draw this one and then come back and we'll win this one. It's one and you're done. I see Atlanta beating Philly. Martinez is just too good a player to not punish Philadelphia. Yeah, Philadelphia have resolve, but I think Atlanta will have the better players to win.
And hopefully you don't jinx us. Hopefully you don't bring some of that DC United bad juju on us. And by the way, Atlanta United game is Thursday at 8 p.m. and Ball Chat will be live in the building again, giving updates on our social media platform. Out west, I don't even know which of these teams really want it. Seattle versus Real Salt Lake. I mean, who do you have? Come on, Real Salt Lake or Seattle?
Real Salt Lake. I think I have Real Salt Lake. Again, we're going to talk about, the miles and the hours on the players' bodies. And then we have to talk about better players. So while Seattle might be rough and tumble, I like to use that word. Jordan Morris is rough and he's tumble, but he's not technical. Real Salt Lake have a whole bunch of technical players that can play with the ball at their feet, who are fast, who are skillful. So I see Real Salt Lake beating Seattle.
All right, Junior, who do you have Real Salt Lake versus Seattle?
Age, experience. I'm going to go with Seattle.
You're going to go with Seattle. And this game is at Real Salt
Lake.
It
doesn't matter. I'm going with Seattle.
Right, come on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think...
Hold on. No, it's at Seattle.
It's at
It is?
It's at Seattle.
Oh, man. Seattle all the way. Seattle gone with this. The 12 man for the Seahawks will show up for Seattle again.
Okay, so you got Seattle winning that game. And the winner of LAFC, the winner of the Minnesota versus Galaxy matchup will play LAFC. I mean, this is a big money side. Come on. It doesn't matter who's ever win this game. LAFC should win, right?
You know, I don't even know because Minnesota, and I think they should win. If there are awards given out to teams, like comeback teams, I think Minnesota should be as the winner for the fairy tale or Cinderella team. So I'm not gonna discount Minnesota. LAFC is due for a whooping, and maybe they just get it in this round. I see if I was LAFC, I would want to play LA Galaxy.
Junior, your thoughts on this matchup? I mean, Bob Bradley, coach of LAFC, this is his chance to show this LAFC crowd that he can lead this team to a title. LAFC. Come on, it's no big deal. Carlos Vela and company. Come on, it's no big deal. Segueing from and the LAFC and Atlanta United matches are Thursday, and the other matches are on Wednesday. So for those teams that are on a rest, that Wednesday, for the teams that played today, like Philadelphia, and now have to travel to Atlanta, and the teams that played yesterday have to travel for the next rounds of matches. Toronto going to New York for Wednesday. This is a quick turnaround time. Segueing from the MLS to Team USA as we try to wrap up football in America. Team USA lost to Canada 2-1. 34 years. Come on, but the big question here is
2-1.
2-1. Took them 34 years to is it 2-1 or 2-0?
It's a 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0. 34 years last time Canada defeated USA. I mean, Greg Berhalter's reign is in jeopardy, is it? Come on.
It should be. I mean, he should have been fired immediately after the game. So for him to not have been fired and he's still in charge of the national team, it's a little bit disconcerting. It's a little bit weird and strange, and it needs to be questioned. That you can lose to a team, but it's how you lose. There was no fight, there was no grit, there was nothing. And then you sub off Chelsea's most expensive player for this season. You have him on the bench, you took him off the field in the 60-something minute, had that man crying, kicking on all the Gatorade bottles. I mean, shame on you, Greg. How can you do that to a Chelsea player? But anyways, so he should have lost his job. That was just terrible. The commentator said that they were upset when Trinidad beat the USA. This is one of the reasons why they're more upset now. Canada. They said Canada should never have beaten them in the manner that they did. So, he should lose his job.
Junior, Camon is advocating for Greg to lose his job, but I care to hear your thoughts on this game and also comment on Canada's play.
I just had to look it back over. You guys are familiar with Jay Berhalter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's one of the governing body's most highest ranked executive.
And
for USA. I just had to double check.
And your point.
And your point.
Ain't no way he's gonna fire his brother, man. Come on, man.
Okay.
He's not getting fired. And US is in a bug zone, a bug confederation. They will get it together, whatever.
There's a petition online, sack Berhalter petition. I actually don't know the number.
He's not getting sacked. He's not.
But your thoughts on Canada?
The US fan base is not like Jamaica. They win, but if they're not satisfied with the type of win, the play, you will hear about it. They're not happy with it. And if I see US soccer fans, even when they beat Cuba 7-0, hat trick by McKennie, Jamaicans would be over the moon. US fans were like, meh, we don't care about Cuba. Give us a real test.
Yeah.
And they got the real test and they failed. So Greg could have his grandmother, his mom, his auntie and sister in the US Soccer Federation. If the fans, US fans turn against the coach, I mean, it's done. It's going to be over.
Yeah, well, fun and joke aside, yeah, he should be fired. But I don't think he's going to be fired right now because his brother he would get as much chance as humanly possible, and it was up to him to make it fail. But Canada, I don't think Canada saw a weakness in the USA and exploited it. That's all. It is nothing. I don't think Canada reinvented the wheel. I don't think Canada is world beaters. I don't think Canada can beat Jamaica's best 11.
Stop it, Junior. Stop it.
I'm saying it. I'm saying it. I don't think they can, because trust me, when I saw that game, I just saw an American team that is they're not motivated.
So should Greg not call Michael Bradley, or should Michael Bradley refuse a call up? Because I'm not sure if Michael Bradley has a place in the squad. He looked out of sorts. He was slow. He was poor. His distribution was all over the place. He was losing the ball. So at what point the coach is going to say, listen, I mean, thank you for your service, but we can't take you with us to the future. So if Greg is not going to say, I'm not going to call this man, should Michael Bradley say, coach, I appreciate the call up, but it's time for me to step away?
Well,
because he's not helping. Pulisic, all right, we always joke about Pulisic, but he has actually gotten worse. It can happen. Like that can be a thing. The national team has not helped him one bit. Right. He just looks so poor and disjointed. So it's just crazy. Bradley and a couple other players should say, Greg, thanks for the call up, but no thank you, and just leave it to the other players who want to play for the national team. Well, they're saying Tyler Adams feigned an injury because he didn't want to play for the national team.
Well, one last joke. At least Greg Berhalter didn't bring Columbus Crew 11 to the national team, so that's one plus.
Excuse me, but isn't Will Trapp and Zardes in the squad?
That's not 11. Come on.
But that's 2 or maybe 3 players that's close to the 11.
I think at one point he had 7 players in the squad from Columbus.
And then how can you continue to bring Brad Guzan and you leave out Bill Hamid? Not because I'm a DC United fan, but Bill Hamid is one of the best goalkeepers.
Oh, come on. Bill Hamid made a huge error last night against Toronto. He should.
And you're saying that Brad Guzan has not?
Neither of them should be near a goal. All right.
No, that's not. That's if you watch DC. All right, last season they had to bring Bill Hamid back from loan, and Bill Hamid with Wayne Rooney saved DC last season. And if you watch this season, Bill Hamid made some ridiculous saves that people are like, okay, how did he do that? So how can you not put him in the squad over Brad Guzan? Brad Guzan has made some bloopers.
Yeah,
but he's young. So Bill Hamid is younger, and he's a better goalkeeper than Brad Guzan.
You see, this is a problem. We're comparing bad goalkeepers with another bad goalkeeper. It's
but
like
isn't that what Greg is supposed to do? It's just like you're choosing food. The one that's salty and the one that's more salty. Which one do you pick? The one that is tolerable. So
none of them.
Nothing.
None of them. All right, football family.
He can pick Bill.
All right, football family, our soccer family, as we wrap up our show, short and sweet. Link us on social media, on Instagram at Ball Chat Podcast, on Facebook at Ball Chat. Connect with us on Facebook at Ball Chat, and on Twitter at Ball Chat 1. I'm losing my train of thought here. I'm thinking about Atlanta United versus Philadelphia game. Link us on social media, Ball Chat Podcast 1 podcast on Instagram, Ball Chat 1 on Twitter, Ball Chat on Facebook, and also on YouTube at Ball Chat Podcast. Like, share, and subscribe. Atlanta United, I am not excited.